While Pierre Polyev has to decline people from coming in because it would obviously be a safety hazard, Mark Carney is locking people out? Wow, that's weird. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B., and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get this message out here. Okay, we're back with some daily election coverage, okay? So this is going to be from yesterday's news. Well, and today's, because Mark Carney decided that he was going to do a tax break for, I think it was the middle class or something, 1%. 1%. He says, oh, it'll save Canadians up to $800 a year. Oh, sir, I am paying $800 for groceries for my family of 5 per my husband's paycheck, $400 a week. Sir, that's not going to help us at all. At all, okay? However, Pierre Polyev says a 15% tax cut. Now, I will say that's not as much as I wanted. Okay, I wish it was all of it. However, I know that getting in there and promising things that are too abrasive can equal, the failing economy that we have now. So I understand doing things with ease. I hope that he plans on taking more off. But we shall see. So I agree with that. I'd obviously rather have Pierre Polyev be taking 15% of the taxes away from my husband's paycheck rather than Mark Carney's 1. I don't even know how that's... What are you doing? Anyways.
This is a tax cut for the workers behind me who will pay 15% less on their income tax. This is a tax cut for the waitress, for the welder, for the barber. This is a tax cut for everybody who has ever got up early in the morning and worked hard to build our country. This is a tax cut that will put Canada first.
Yes, it will. And can I just say that I have watched Pierre Polyev over the last 3 years like a hawk, okay? This man has aged in 3 years. He has aged in 3 years. Okay, he looked very young during his campaigning to be the leader of the Conservative Party in comparison to now, but Pierre Polyev looks like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. I genuinely think he was just as worried as us that the Liberals were going to pull some crap and not have an election, because that is what people were saying. Charlie Angus said that. Jagmeet Singh said that he wouldn't put a vote of non-confidence through, or he would have to think about it. We have gone through so many times where Jagmeet Singh said he was going to do it, okay? Do not fault Canadians for not believing it, okay? I'm glad that Clyde Do Something also was exactly like me and didn't believe that they were going to call an election, because they've lied to us so many times. Mark Carney locked Fisherman out of his event last night, and then during it said, I want to hear your voices, I do. Then why did you lock them out? I don't understand. I genuinely, at first, I was like, oh, that's a little bit more people that showed up for Mark Carney than I thought would. Guys, no. No. Those are people there to protest him. So that's going well. And you know what? I was listening to Trish Woods this weekend, and she has kind of discovered that she has an hypothesis that Mark Carney might have been the person to suggest the Emergencies Act, since he was the economic advisor of Trudeau, and hearing him talk about the convoy. He literally said, women fleeing abuse have been harassed. Sir, what are you talking about? And elders are afraid to come out of their homes. Like they were during COVID that were protesting? What are you guys talking about? Anyways, just the fact that Mark Carney has literally been the puppeteer of Justin Trudeau and Justin Trudeau's moves for the last 5 years, I don't understand how people are I don't think people are actually fooled. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was right when I said that this smells like a Kamala Harris situation, okay, where the polls are inflated to give the perception that people are trusting the Liberals again when they very much aren't. And how do we know that? Well, for Mark Carney's first rally, protesters showed up, and for Pierre's first campaign rally, thousands of people showed up. Thousands of people showed up to support him in Toronto, liberal Toronto. Okay? I was listening to the Elevate podcast, and they said something along the lines of, we've watched Pierre Poilievre as an opposition leader, and we finally get to see him as, campaigning for Prime Minister Pierre and Prime Minister Pierre, hopefully. And it's just going to be such a relief, because I genuinely think, after hearing about his essay that he wrote about being as if he was prime minister, I genuinely think that he has had the best. He has changed his mind on a lot of things, and you can see the growth in him, because, believe it or not, I think differently than when I was in my 20s, and I can see a bigger picture and think differently over here. And I truly believe that he is and I've always believed this, that he is the conservative we needed during COVID. I genuinely think and I could be wrong, but I think that if we had him, we would have had an actual opposition. Maybe. Because his voice was always the one that stuck out to me when he was telling Trudeau, nobody believes you when you don't know how much your parents got or how much your family got from the charity. Okay, he has always been very and I very much appreciated that about him, and that's what we need. Canada has had a best friend leader who has let us do whatever. That's like the toxic best friend, and Canada needs a dad again. Canada needs a dad to come in and say, that's not okay, we need to stop the crime. Okay, Pierre is constantly, I watched his rally last night, constantly talking about the crime, because that's a huge deal. So many Canadians have been impacted, and Canadians and their families and their friends, by this amount of high crime. And that seems to be something that the Liberals and the NDP just completely ignore. And now we're going to talk about Jagmeet Singh, because CTV was grilling him, saying, why do you think that you deserve this? Let's look at it.
Campaign. So why are you deserving of a job promotion going into an election campaign with such weakened support?
That was the beginning of Northern Perspectives video, and then it cuts to their sick intro. So thank you to them for that. But I watched on Mr. Sunshine Babies and Elevate's podcast. I know it's from CPAC, but the thing is that it's so true, because I voted for NDP, and I've made plenty of videos. I might make another one of why I would never vote NDP again. But Jagmeet Singh has completely ruined the party. Unless Jagmeet Singh resigns, or, I don't know. I think the only person that I could see coming and saving this party federally is actually someone who is an NDP provincially, which is Wab Kinew. Wab Kinew is... If he became prime minister after Pierre Poilievre, first of all, they look like brothers. They literally look like twins, except for one's white and one is Indigenous, okay? Now, I don't agree with much of Wab Kinew, but he seems to make more sense than Jagmeet Singh, okay? Which is, that's not hard to do. But it does shock me that NDP supporters are upset with Jagmeet Singh and planning on voting Liberal. I have no idea. Are they planning on getting the Green Party in? Are they planning on voting at all? Let me know. I was watching the stream last night of Northern Perspective, and I guess that they know people who are just not voting. What have you guys been hearing about it? I just watched Mark Carney's live announcement right after that clip. I looked over at the computer and it was on, so I clicked it. That was the most boring thing I've ever watched. Get to the point. What? I don't even know what he was saying. That he's taking the money from retaliatory tariffs and giving it to people who are... What? How are you doing that? And I would suggest, if you're in that position, try the best that you can to not take money from the government. Coming from somebody who was told, after providing proof that we have 3 children, that the daycares were closed, my husband had to take time off, they're still telling us that we owe that. Do not take money from this government, okay? So this says more than 50 Newfoundland and Labrador's fish harvesters are outside of Mark Carney's rally in St. John's. Police said they told them to move outside and the front doors are now locked. Carney, during his speech, said that he wanted to acknowledge that they're here and that he's here to listen by locking them out. So the optics aren't good. I'm thinking that, once again, the polls are full of baloney, just like they were for Kamala Harris. And do you think that you can find this story when you search it on Google? Because you can't. Do you think that you can find this story on Twitter? Yes, you can. I cannot wait for this government to be out and them to repeal C-11. They have not said that they're going to do that in the last 3 weeks, but I've obviously watched the Conservative for the last 3 years, and they have tried to stop C-11. So I'm hoping that it's one of the first things that goes, because our algorithms are so unbelievably messed up. There's this girl that I didn't even know about, and she lives in BC, and she had a podcast, and she thinks we're so similar. Never come across her until the day where TikTok banned the Americans. I found a ton of people. Very strange. And I would just like to say that last night I was on live showing my support for Pierre, and the left-leaning people in the comments, or bots, I don't know, were saying things like, that's not real, this isn't real, because I was talking about hospitals. I was talking about how hospitals are not just ran by the provinces. It's actually like an umbrella of people that run the hospitals in Canada, as in the feds said the National Health Standard Act for Canada as a whole, whereas provinces have different plays, and then the everyday operations are by the hospital CEOs and stuff. And unions have a say and stuff like that. And they were like, no, it's just the provinces. It's just Doug Ford. No, it's not. Do you think Doug Ford knows enough about healthcare that he is running these hospitals himself? What I'm trying to get here is that I was showing them Ontario. Oh no, that was me renewing my health card. I was showing them an Ontario website, and they were still like, that's not true. You're making this up. You just made that up right now. That would be impressive if I could have Photoshop skills that were that fast, guys. So even sometimes and that's why they must be bots. Hopefully they're bots, because even when I'm showing them the proof, because I showed them first a Google search, and then it showed AI. And then, what happened? And then they were like, oh, it's AI. I'm like, okay, well, it's summarizing the government website, so let's click on the government website. And went to the government website, and they still don't even believe that. So I don't know what that was about. Hopefully they weren't real people, because, guys, let's not live in cognitive dissonance, okay? So did you guys watch Pierre's campaign rally? I watched the pleb. Thousands of people. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Who else is excited? Oh, I've never felt so much weight off my shoulders. I'm so excited. I could barely sleep last night. I booked tickets. I booked a hotel, so I better be making money off of YouTube by then. So please share, comment. It helps me get into the algorithm, because I don't make money yet. I'm assuming when I make money, it'll kick me out there, hopefully more. They're just not transferring over my hours from last year. I don't know why. Anyways, please subscribe for everyday election coverage and my commentary on it, because we will be talking about this, especially because I can't find the Fisherman Mark Carney story when I type it into YouTube or Google. So I will be here to let you guys know what is really going on in the campaign world of Canada. So let's do this, guys. Have a good one, and bye.